Hey everyone, welcome to the Reddit branch. Today we have interesting stories from Reddit that I would love to hear your opinion about. So feel free to let me know what you think down in the comment section. If you enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for content like this every day. First story. Is this relationship as toxic as I think? We're in the middle of going through a breakup, but we live together. It's not something I wanted, so I was doing anything I could do to please him. We had our last fight that broke us up about how needy and mean I am when having an anxiety attack. So I've been trying the past few days to keep all of my anxiety to myself. He wanted a pizza and the delivery was expensive, so I offered to pick it up. I didn't think that through and didn't realize what part of town I would end up in. I wasn't even able to park any closer than a block away from the pizza place. The second I stopped, a man came up to my car, knocking on the window, shouting something. I drove away as soon as possible and called to tell my boyfriend that this wasn't so true and I didn't feel safe out here. He didn't believe that I had to park far away and thought I was just overreacting. Literally, that same guy found my car parked somewhere else and tried to come up to my car again before I drove away a second time. Then a different man did the same thing and I had to lose that guy twice as well. I called my boyfriend again, telling him I'm too scared and this seems dangerous. He offered to be on the phone with me as if it was all in my head and I'm just anxious again for no reason. He made me feel like I had to get out of the car anyway, because it's just no big deal. So I got out of the car, shaking like it's cold, and walked past the train station in front of the restaurant, also just full of random men staring at me. The pizza place was closed. I started back to my car, making sure none of them were following me, ready to run with my keys sticking out of my fist. As I was walking up to my car, I heard a man shout to me. I turned it for a second and he was close and he was still coming closer. I started my car as fast as I could and slammed on the gas. I was still on the phone with my boyfriend, telling him what was going on as it happened. As soon as I was driving, he hung up. When I got home, all he really had to say before I brought it up again was, "Sucks there is no pizza, and I should have known you wouldn't have been able to handle it." In his mind, this was all for attention and I was just being dramatic. No, maybe those men only wanted to ask for money, maybe they were going to hurt me, but there is no way of knowing. I was more scared then than I have ever been in my life, but whatever, because I'm just overreacting, right? People replied in the comments with, "Oh wow, what a jerk. First things first, regular anxiety attacks are a medical condition." Repeat after me. Regular anxiety attacks are a medical condition. So if this piece of trash cannot handle the symptoms of your medical condition, he cannot handle you. Secondly, what you went through was horrifying and 100% not in your head. You did well to escape and it sounds like your boyfriend doesn't even understand as much of what it is to be a woman. You would think that after a while of being in a relationship with one, he would have learned breaking up is the right call. Kudos for having the guts to do it, not overreacting. The fact that he didn't seem too bothered that you felt unsafe is worrisome, and no offense, but I'm glad you guys are breaking up because you deserve better. Now for my personal opinion, oh my god, that boyfriend, that's such a jerk behavior. This relationship is so toxic for the poster. It was enough to know he doesn't care if she feels unsafe. Hope she kicks him out of her life hard. Next story. I give my child the same name as my ex's child and people will not leave me alone. Okay, I know the title may look bad, but read the whole story before you cast judgment. I, 30 male, used to be married to my high school sweetheart, Linda, 30 female. She got pregnant when we were 20 and I didn't want to be a dad at that time. But I knew that if I suggested that she go to the clinic, I would be the a-hole, so I tried to suck it up. Her parents pushed for marriage and because my parents were embarrassed, they convinced me to do it. I was not happy with the wedding and felt like my life was over. The only joy that I could seem to find was finding out that my ex was going to have a girl and she agreed that we could name her after my nana. She was my great-grandmother who died when I was 10 and I loved her very much. I tried to get excited but I wasn't, not even when I held the baby for the first time. It just felt wrong and I felt terrible. I kept waiting for this magic switch to go off that would make me love the little girl, but it didn't. I think maybe it was because I didn't love her mother. One day, a random woman showed up at my door and demanded to see her grandchild. I had no idea what she was talking about, but it later came out that my ex was cheating on me and that her child wasn't mine. My ex denied this, but when I suggested a DNA test, she got all defensive. But I did one anyway in secret. Her daughter wasn't mine, and I showed her and our family the results and filed for divorce. Her parents tried to push for reconciliation, and when I refused, they threatened to use me for the money they spent on trade school for me. But there was nothing in writing stating that the money was conditional on my marital to their daughter. It sucked that I was on the hook for child support, but a part of me felt relieved that for the most part I could just walk away. The baby was only a year old when the divorce was finalized, so it's not like she was going to remember me anyways. Unfortunately, my ex's daughter got sick and died, and while I am sad for the little life that was lost, I didn't attend the funeral. My parents still remained in contact with hers, so we always heard about each other, which didn't bother me, but I made it very clear I wanted nothing to do with her. I was able to rebuild my life and married my current wife, and she gave birth to our daughter. I still really wanted to use my Nana's name, and we compromised on it being the middle name. A week after the birth, my wife made a post about our daughter and showed her real name. The next day, I got blasted with messages about how awful I was to use that name and that my ex saw it and went off the deep end. I don't see as what I did as terrible because 1. It was a middle name and not the first. 2. It was always important to me to have a daughter with that name, and my ex's child was not mine. 3. It's not like my baby was born so soon after hers. 4. I told my wife everything and she was cool with it, so where do I go from here? People replied in the comments with, I mean, there is nowhere to go from here because this isn't a problem, and you're not going to change your child's name over some social media nonsense. Nor should you. The ex kinda stole the name from you in the first place because she was/is a cheat and a liar. I would remind people of that when they want to blast you for it. Like, I thought I gave my child that name the first time around. It was a family name that you wanted to pass down in your family. Your wife knows and agrees to it. Ex's opinion literally does not matter. If anyone wants to argue that, they probably do not need to be in your life, honestly. Ignore and block everyone harassing you. Your ex committed paternity fraud and married you under false pretenses. It's terrible that her family and yours are still pressuring you to remain with someone who lied about your father and her child. The name you give the daughter you just had is to honor your Nana. It is your right to name your child. Your ex-wife's late daughter was not your biological child. She was given that name because your ex-wife lied and misled you to think she was. I doubt there is anything you can do now, but in hindsight, your wife did not need to post her middle name. In reality, a name is just a name, but some people put great stock in it. Now, for my personal opinion, the poster is not in the wrong. Just because some lying, cheating, and mix-up happened does not change the fact that it's his grandma's name and he wants his daughter to have it. Next story. I am thinking of ending things with husband over him saying shut up. It seems so stupid, but my husband insulted my skiing ability tonight in front of friends. He used one example of when I had been drinking and panicked and had trouble with a run as the evidence I wasn't the cool skier I was portraying. And I know I'm not like the best skier in the world, but we had played a YouTube video of us skiing for our friends, and I was telling them about our adventures on different mountains, and I hear shut the hell up in my ear from him. And when they left, he said I don't know why you're making yourself out like a great skier when you had trouble with X run, X being the one I panicked on. Which I explained why I panicked at the time and I haven't panicked on the mountain since. The issue for me is the pattern of underestimating me and the pattern of belittling my accomplishments. And even if you think I'm exaggerating my accomplishments, don't say shut the hell up under your breath. Maybe I was talking too much or maybe it seemed like I was bragging. But like my friends know that skiing is my biggest hobby and I thought I was just sharing that because he played the video. This also isn't the first time he has spoken to me that way. It just upsets me deeply that I feel like deep down, shut the hell up is how he really feels about me. Am I being a brat? I know I'm probably overreacting, but this is an ongoing thing where I feel excited and included and I'm basically told I'm being dumb or I'm not good enough. People replied in the comments with, "Your first paragraph here is still justifying your skiing abilities, which I don't think you should feel the need to do. This is really not about skiing. If you were the worst, lamest skier in the world, I would still not think your husband's behavior was appropriate. He's treating you with contempt. You aren't thinking of divorce because of one comment he made. You're thinking of divorce because you're married to a man who belittles you and cuts you down at every opportunity. You say, I feel like deep down, shut the hell up is how he really feels about me." That's key. When people show you who they are and how they feel about you, believe them. You're not crazy. This is just the beginning. Think back to other episodes in the past when he treated you that way. I am sure you overlooked them. If your gut says leave, do so. You will thank yourself later. I know the stereotypes that over-Reddit commenters say you should get divorced to everything, but since your question specifically says you are thinking about divorce, I'm here to say that if you were my friend in real life, I would be team divorce. Now for my personal opinion, the poster isn't overreacting. The husband sounds obnoxious, to be honest. He sounds jealous and rude. He should be rooting for her every small success and happiness. Of course I don't know their whole relationship, but if it's constantly like this, maybe divorce is the way to go. This concludes all the stories we have for this video. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to share your opinions in the comment section down below. Until next time.